Imagine charging into your chaotic workday like a battlefield general. Emails flying, deadlines clashing, stress mounting to epic victory, only to watch it all backfire into burnout and regret. What if Lao Tzu's ancient whisper in Chapter 30 of the Tao Te Ching holds the key for today's overwhelmed seekers? Wield power without force, win without overkill, and let peace bloom where thorns once grew. In the next 10 minutes, we'll decode John Minford's profound take on why forcing success breeds failure in careers, relationships, and self-growth, and how embracing just enough could unlock your effortless flow in this hyper-driven world. Intrigued? Dive in now. All right, so we are on chapter 30 of the Tao Te Ching. Again, this is the John Minford version I'm reading from. Against force. A ruler nourished by the Tao never takes up arms, does no violence to all under heaven. In the wake of any military campaign, violence rebounds. Thorns and brambles spring up. The passage of an army is attended with poor harvests, achieves his goal and lets go. The best general achieves his goal and lets go, never ventures to take more by force. He accomplishes without boasting, without bragging, without pride. He accomplishes and lets go. He stops short of violence. Brute strength decays with age. It's not the Tao. Whatsoever is not the Tao meets with an early end. And as per routine with some of these episodes that we've dived into, I'll be reading from the River Master's commentary, again in the John Minford version of the Tao Te Ching, originally by Lao Tzu. A ruler nourished by the Tao follows heaven and nature, uses inner power. The enemy surrenders of its own accord. In times of war, agriculture is neglected. Fields are left uncultivated. Crops are spoiled. Harvests are poor. The Taoist withdrawals, halts, military action as soon as the goal has been accomplished. The Taoist never thinks of war as something fine, does not seek fame by resorting to violence, is resolute but not boastful, humble, not proud. All right. This is so. Some of the chapters in the Tao Te Ching actually are talking, are guiding and informing leaders of nations. They say the Tao Te Ching can actually be used as a book of wisdom for a leader of a nation. So very interesting there. But in this particular chapter, we're talking about the use of war and specifically like when the goal of an action has been achieved, the Taoist will halt and not move forward beyond what is the initial or the point, right? And I'm reminded a little bit. I know I'm going to probably catch some flack for this here on the channel, but I'm thinking of Donald Trump and some of his actions most recently. And the one I'm thinking of most recently is the capture of Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela, and there was a lot of reasons why he thought, and I don't want to make this a political commentary by any stretch, but I do know that some of his reasoning was for the better and higher good of the world at large, and specifically America, right? And he, obviously authorized that operation, which led to Nicolas Maduro's capture, and has allowed the United States to essentially take over Venezuela, right? Through proxy and through maybe not explicitly in terms of like there's not an American leading Venezuela currently. It still is. I think it was the vice president took over for the country, the vice president of Venezuela. But she is very much doing what America wants her to do. So I want to put all that aside, and I want to actually talk about the actual act of what was what the goal was, how much effort America put into achieving that goal, and then what we did immediately following. So, and I'm going to compare a couple things. So if you think about way back to the early 2000s during the Iraq War and toppling Saddam Hussein, and then the 10 years after, 10, 15 years or whatever it was afterwards, where we're basically nation building. So we stayed and we continued to fight the global war on terrorism, right? So, which had a whole lot of other implications and a whole lot of other objectives. But we probably overstayed our welcome. We lost a lot of American lives through that process, and probably didn't have a lot to show for it, right? Whereas in this particular instance, Donald Trump's very limited force here to go in, achieve whatever he was aiming to achieve, which was to capture Nicolas Maduro, to gain proxy control over the country of Venezuela, and hence lock out China and Russia, right, from being able to influence the nation and to use the resources of Venezuela, because they have a tremendous amount of oil and there's some rare earth minerals there, and so through this limited action, he was able to achieve a massive amount of good things for the United States and the Western Hemisphere in general. So, and this is a perfect example of doing enough and then coming back and saying, okay, we accomplished a goal. We're not going to be in this forever war. Although he did somewhat kind of glorify what they did, but I also think that Trump has been pretty vocal about not wanting to have these forever wars, to only use force when absolutely essential, and not using force just to use force. So I would say overall, his philosophy on war has been pretty consistent in terms of not necessarily pushing for war just to have war, or just to or just kind of like letting things unfold and unravel in a way that would result in war to kind of get out of control and really mess things up, right? I also don't think he necessarily I really don't think he wants war in general, but I think he realizes that he has to use American might to achieve some of these objectives, or to just let the world know that America is still strong. This narrative of America's in decline, it's probably not necessarily true, or at least he's trying to project that it's not true. Anyway, so this is gonna be a little bit divisive video, so I'm it is what it is. I thought this, the Trump's thing was interesting, and kind of goes along with this chapter about using only enough force, or to use in war to do just enough to accomplish a goal, and then retreat, or go back, or not continue beyond, right? Like, could he have sent a whole bunch of more ships and planes and people, and really and occupied Venezuela, and potentially spend a whole bunch of money and time and lives, right, to accomplish what, right? He accomplished a goal with very minimal force, and was able to really create a positive for the United States of America. So, and for many Venezuelans too, right? So I mean, if you look at some of the celebrations that occurred as Maduro had gotten caught and was perp walked through the southern district of New York, it was people were out in the streets celebrating. So, or Venezuelans were anyway. So, so overall, probably not a bad move on Trump's part. Although, again, I'm not a political commentator, so I'm just giving you kind of the high level of what I saw and how it relates to this chapter. So, feel free to comment on this video if you'd like to, and voice whatever opinions you have about this particular, what I'm talking about here. But again, it's neither here nor there. It's not really the point. The point is to illustrate this chapter. And so here at the end, okay, so he accomplishes without boasting, without bragging, without pride. And right there, that's probably not so much Trump. I mean, he does boast and brag about, hey, look at us, look at what we were able to accomplish. So that's a little bit different. A Taoist ruler would accomplish, and then probably not ever talk about it again, because it's not worth boasting or bragging about. He accomplishes and lets go, right? And he stops short of violence. Yeah. Anyways, brute strength decays with age. That's actually a truth. That's reality among all of us humans, right? Our strength does decay as we get older. And so, yeah, and it's true of nations as well. It is not the Tao. Whatsoever is not the Tao meets with an early end. That is absolutely true. So if you have violence in your heart, and violence can be just that going against the flow of the Tao, it could be considered violence, right? Because it's sudden, it's not in flow. From the Taoist perspective, or from the perspective of the Tao, it's abrupt, right? It's violent, it's forceful. So all the same idea, and people who tend to be that way in the world, usually don't have, usually will have issues, and things don't tend to work out for them. So. Yeah, so this is chapter 30. So we're in the 30s now, which is excellent. We're making some good progress here. Hopefully this chapter resonated with you in this episode. If it does, please like and subscribe to the channel. Obviously, it helps us grow this channel and get these videos out to more people, so they can have the experience of learning about this ancient wisdom and how it impacts them to become more aligned human beings with their minds and hearts. And then go out and be a positive force for others in the world, and have that ripple effect. So again, this is the Boundless Sovereign YouTube channel. Thank you all, and we will see you in chapter 31.